Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about something pretty wild, a full-blown data center you can pack into a suitcase. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a system designed to get critical tech up and running anywhere on the planet, in literally minutes. But, to really get why that's such a game changer, we gotta start with a basic question. What actually happens when the grid goes down? I mean, really think about it. If you're in a disaster zone or some remote research outpost, the answer gets complicated, fast. The simple answer? Everything just stops, dead in its tracks. Communication, logistics, any kind of critical work, it all just grinds to a halt. This is what people in the field call the infrastructure void. So let's really dig into this problem for a second. When there's no power, no internet, suddenly even the most high-tech teams on the planet are basically thrown back into the dark ages. We're talking pen and paper. Their ability to do anything useful just plummets. And it's not just one thing, right? It's this domino effect, a total cascade of failures. You lose these basic utilities and boom, disaster relief, scientific research, you name it. It all becomes next to impossible. So what's the solution? Well, the answer, and this is the cool part, comes in a surprisingly compact form. We're talking about a set of 3 suitcases. Meet the RIOS Pilot Expeditionary. The whole concept boils down to this. Infrastructure in a suitcase. The idea is to take all the power of a private, totally secure data center, what tech folks call a sovereign data center, and shrink it down so it's portable enough that you can literally check it as luggage on a plane. Crazy, right? And look, let's be clear, this is no toy. We're talking about a retail price of $45,000. This is a serious piece of gear. It's designed to replace a whole stack of other equipment that would cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Not to mention the specialized IT team you'd need to actually run it all. Okay, and this right here is the absolute key. This system isn't just a fancy generator or a satellite dish. No, it's about delivering what's called digital sovereignty. That means having the freedom and the ability to process and store your own data securely, no matter where on Earth you happen to be. You're not relying on big tech clouds. You're in control. All right, so how does this whole thing actually work? Well, the entire system is called the mission stock, and it's got this really brilliant design. It's all broken down into 3 color-coded cases that all lock together. First up, you've got the yellow case. They call this one the lungs, and as you can probably guess, this is the power plant for the whole operation. So you pop this open, and inside you've got this super stable and powerful lithium iron phosphate battery that's paired with a 400-watt military-spec solar blanket that just folds right out, and the whole thing is managed by these industrial-grade Victron components. If you know anything about off-grid power, you know Victron is the gold standard for reliability. The whole point of this lungs module is to act as a clean power buffer. Think of it like a filter. It completely isolates the sensitive, expensive electronics from what they call dirty power. The kind you get from a sputtering field generator or from solar panels on a cloudy day. It ensures a perfectly clean, stable flow of electricity, which is absolutely crucial for protecting the hardware. Okay, moving on, we have the blue case. This is the brain. And yeah, this is where all the real magic happens. What you're looking at is a totally sealed, fanless server. It's built to survive in really tough environments. Inside, it's packing an Intel Xeon processor for some serious number crunching. And it's also got a powerful NVIDIA A2 GPU. That's a huge deal because it means you can run complex AI models right there in the field. And to talk to the outside world, it's got a high-performance Starlink kit and a 5G router for backup, so you're always connected. And last but not least, we've got the black case, which they call the face. This is your interface with the whole system. So this case has the stuff you'd expect, like a super bright, daylight-readable screen and a weatherproof keyboard and trackball. But here's the really unique part. It includes a long-range IoT gateway. Now think of this like your own private little cell network. It can connect to up to 1,000 different sensors across a 5-mile radius, all without needing a cell plan or paying for data. It's a total game changer for field research or monitoring. So the design is just brilliant, no question. But here's the thing. Having an amazing prototype like this, it brings a whole new and very real problem to the table. Yeah, when they looked at their own process, they found a massive flaw. The product was just too darn hard to build. They were stuck in what they themselves called a hobbyist assembly workflow. Basically, it was like building a kit car in your garage. And this slide just lays out the challenge perfectly. They had to get from the current state on the left, a highly skilled tech hunched over a workbench, ordering parts from Amazon, taking 12 hours per unit, to the future state on the right. That means an actual assembly line, buying parts in bulk, and being able to churn these things out for big global deployments, like the ones they needed in Uganda.
So, okay, let's say they solve this production problem. How does that unlock the company's bigger vision? Well, it all comes down to a really, really clever market strategy.
See, this portable unit, it isn't just a product they're selling. It's actually a Trojan horse. It's the perfect way to get their foot in the door with a new client. They can deploy it fast, no construction needed. They prove how valuable their software and data is on site. And then, and this is the brilliant part, they use the portable unit's own power limitations as the perfect reason to upsell the client to a much bigger, permanent containerized data center.
And this chart here just synthesizes the whole strategy beautifully. Look at how it works. Their biggest strength, the fact that you can just check it as luggage, is what enables that whole Trojan horse strategy. Then what seems like their biggest weakness, the limited 2 kilowatt-hour power budget, actually becomes the very thing that creates the logical reason for the upsell. It's an incredibly clever way to turn a product limitation into a strategic business advantage.
Which, of course, brings us to a final, much bigger thought. As the world feels more and more unpredictable, this idea of a totally self-contained, rapidly deployable civilization seed, well, it's incredibly powerful. So you have to wonder, is infrastructure in a suitcase just a really clever product? Or is it maybe the actual blueprint for what resilience is going to look like in the future?